Tii item 506, September 14th, 2021. iPhone 13, 13 mini, 13 Pro, 13 Pro Max, Apple Watch Series 7, and more. In this episode, we talk about the September 2021 Apple event, new iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, plus some other Apple news, and more, all covered in depth starting after the intro.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, cool!
Oh yeah.
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of who I am.
Today's episode is brought to you by Libsyn, the best podcast hosting service, period. Sign up with promo code podcast411 and get the rest of this month and all of next month free. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and you are listening to the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Porter from Porter's Podcast, and my son, for sending in the music you hear in the background. Porter said, "Hey, Dad, this song was recorded on an iPad Pro using GarageBand. The song is called Something Creepy, and I transferred it to your computer using AirDrop. Regards, Porter." Well, thanks, Porter, for the music, and folks, I'll put the full song at the end of the episode. Also want to thank Steve for sending in the artwork for this episode. Steve wrote, "Hi, Rob. I've been listening since your first podcast. In fact, you quoted me when Apple lowered the price for the original iPhone just a month after we all stood in line to purchase one. I wrote the show to say, I salute you, Steve Jobs. I'll let you guess which finger. Who knows? We all got a refund of $100 shortly thereafter. You've served an invaluable information source for all of us over the years, including Apple, though they may not admit it openly. Regards, Steve Redman." Well, thanks, Steve, for the artwork. And folks, you can see the artwork in the free Tii app via the bonus button for episode 506, or at Instagram.com/todayinios, and also at Facebook.com/todayinios. If you have some artwork and or music you have created on your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email to me at todayinios@gmail.com. Please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. Before we get into the Apple September 2021 event, we need to cover some urgent news. Apple just released a critical security update for iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, and Macs. This is a Release the Hounds update. You really, really want to update all your iOS devices and Macs. This fixes a zero-day, zero-click exploit found by researchers with Citizen Lab, and it's from the NSO group out of Israel. This exploit takes advantage of a flaw in Apple's iMessage app, which was used to push the Pegasus spyware to an activist's phone. In short, they call it a zero-day exploit because that is how many days the companies have to fix it and how many days you have to install it. So again, Release the Hounds for iOS 14.8 update and any updates from Apple for your iPhone, iPads, Apple Watches, and Macs that you're seeing right now, September 14th, 2021. And by the way, the servers were really, really slow today for these updates. Go get Hulu on another device and watch Only Murders in the Building while you wait. If you have any questions on this, I have links in the show notes for episode 506 at todayinios.com that go over this in more detail. Okay, now to the main news. The Apple event started with a 2-minute video where it went from violin music playing to lots of musical instruments and singing of the song California Soul, to then way too much use of drones to the point I started getting motion sick. And then finally, Tim Cook came on and did some yada yada, all is great kind of talk that he does at the beginning of these presentations for a few seconds. And the first new thing up for Apple was Apple TV Plus, which got about 2 minutes of presentation time. They did a video showing different previews of the different shows that are coming out this fall. This is the new shows and then new seasons for shows that are coming back. There's some really good-looking new shows, plus some good older ones returning. Foundation is one of the ones I'm most looking forward to per the new shows. You'll be seeing those rolling out here over the next couple months, including some starting this week, this Friday. Next up was the iPad, as in the new iPad. Melody was a person doing the overview, And first thing she mentioned was the processor, the A13 Bionic to be precise, 20% faster GPU and CPU, which is 3 times faster than the best-selling Chromebook and 6 times faster than the best-selling Android tablet. Back camera is at 8 megapixels still. Apple improved the front cameras, however, with the front camera going to 12 megapixels ultra-wide camera with a 122-degree field of view, which is great for its new support of Center Stage, with Center Stage being supported by not just Apple apps, but also Zoom, BlueJeans, WebEx. Plus, you can use Center Stage when recording videos in apps like TikTok, DoubleTake, and Explain Everything. So this is a really nice addition for the new iPad. Per Apple Pencil, it is supporting the first generation only. It does work with the same smart keyboard. It still has the home button with Touch ID. It has a 10.2-inch Retina display, comes in silver or space gray, comes with a 20-watt USB-C charger, but it's still a Lightning port, not a USB-C port. Pricing starts at $329 with 64 gig storage. For the regular consumer version, they doubled up the storage. It used to be intro was 32. Or you can get it at $299 for schools. You can order today and we'll start shipping right away. Back to Tim. And he went from that introduction for the all-new iPad to the all-new iPad mini. And then Tim passed the ball to Katie to go over the specs of the new iPad mini. The screen is new, all-screen design, which means no more home button, with Touch ID moving to the top button. With all-screen design, they were able to stretch the screen to 8.3 inches while leaving the case size the same. Comes in 4 colors, purple, pink, starlight, and space gray. And if you think they seem to focus on the lady folks, you would be correct. It checks in at just 0.65 pounds or 203 grams for the Wi-Fi model. Add 4 grams for the cellular model. Compared to the last iPad mini, the CPU is 40% faster, and the GPU is 80% faster. Per the port, it is updated to the USB-C port, which means it supports USB-C accessories, making it much more functional. And with 5G support, that functionality can be in more places with great connection speed. It also has Wi-Fi 6 support. Back camera is improved to 12 megapixels and can record 4K video. Front camera is also 12 megapixels and is the ultra-wide, so it too supports Center Stage. You get stereo speakers in landscape mode, and the big update, it supports second-gen Apple Pencil. And yes, it supports mag charging of the Apple Pencil second gen. The screen is a liquid Retina display, 8.3 inches, LED backlit multi-touch display with IPS tech, 2266 by 1488 pixels at 326 pixels per inch with 500 nits of brightness, and it is a true tone display. Per the processor, it is the A15 Bionic with 6-core CPUs and 5-core GPU processors with a 16-core neural engine. It comes with a 20-watt USB-C charger, and it is, again, a USB-C port. Pricing on this, not $299 or $329, but rather pricing starts at $499 for the 64 not enough gigabyte version, and there is also a 256, just the right size gigabyte version. For the 256 gigabyte version and Wi-Fi, pricing is $649. That jumps up to $799 for the 5G version. You can order today, and delivery is Thursday the 16th for some models. It's shipping right away. Overall, the iPad mini update was the much bigger update for the 2 iPads announced. And overall, Apple spent 17 minutes talking about iPads, but really $499 or $649, even $799 for the 5G version. That's a pretty good deal when you consider everything you get. USB-C, support for the second-gen Apple Pencil. Overall, was pretty impressed with the iPad mini update. iPad update? Meh. Tim Cook came back to introduce the next product update, and that is the new Apple Watch Series 7, which he then handed off to Jeff. Tim did a lot of handing off. The video for the Series 7 intro shows it getting hit with a rock or rocks when a person is crashing on a bike. Apple is claiming the screen is more crack resistant, and that screen is 20% bigger, but the same basic size for the case. The display is 70% brighter, and Apple even showed off a full keyboard on the Apple Watch screen for typing messages. Apple did not show the files that you would need to file down your fingers tips to get them so you could actually use that, maybe a meat grinder or something like that. That said, will be interesting to see how that works. I have a hard enough time putting in my 4-digit code on the numeric keypad that they have up there, and that's just 12 characters on the screen, or 12 buttons. Now you want me to type on a QWERTY keyboard on that screen? Yeah, good luck with that. I could see some entrepreneurial soul coming up with a little finger condoms with a small part of the tip of the finger condom missing, so that only a little bit of your finger is available to tap on the screen, just for using the keyboard. Or again, you could use a file or a grinder or a Dremel tool to get your fingers down to a little point. It sounds painful. The Series 7 is swim-proof, again. Per colors, the aluminum comes in 5 different options: Midnight, Starlight, Green, Blue, and Product Red. Midnight is black, and Starlight appears to be more silver. For the stainless steel version, it will be available in graphite, gold, and stainless steel. And for titanium, you have the options of natural and space black. Plus, lots of new bands. Some lower price, some not so much. And yes, Series 7 works with all the older bands. Thank you, Apple. Apple is claiming the new Series 7 charges 33% faster with a new charging adapter they send with it, and with just 45 minutes needed to charge it from 0 to 80%. The Apple Watch family is now the following: Apple Watch Series 3 starting at $199, Apple Watch SE starting at $279, and the Apple Watch Series 7 starting at $399. The Series 7 will be available to order later this fall. No specific dates given, but fall means sometime after the end of September. Overall, Apple spent 9 minutes on the Apple Watch series. Apple next went to Apple Fitness Plus, which they said currently is available in 6 countries: Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, UK, and the US, but will be expanding to additional 15 more countries this fall, which are Austria, Brazil, Colombia, France, Germany, Indonesia, Italy, Malaysia, Mexico, Portugal, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Switzerland, and the UAE, bringing Fitness Plus to 21 countries in total by the end of this fall. One new addition for Fitness Plus is guided meditations. Fitness Plus actually had about 7 minutes of presentation time, so Apple put a good deal of time into that part of the presentation. Tim came back to introduce the first new iPhones, the 13 and 13 mini. He then passed it over to Cayenne to do the heavy lifting. First up, the 13s will have 2 cameras, but in a diagonal orientation rather than the vertical orientation that the 12s had. The 13s will be IP68 water resistant and come in 5 colors: Product Red, Starlight, Midnight, Blue, and Pink. The screens will be 5.4 and 6.1 inches and are Super Retina XDR OLED displays. For the Mini, its resolution is 2340 by 1080 at 476 pixels per inch. And the 13, its resolution is 2532 by 1170 at 460 pixels per inch. Below that display is an A15 Bionic chip with a 6-core CPU, 2 high-performance cores, 4 being efficient, and a 4-core CPU and 16-core neural engine, and twice the system cache versus the 12. There's a 30% boost in performance versus the 12, according to Apple. Per the cameras, there is a new wide camera with a bigger sensor with sensor shift OIS, that's optical image stabilization. There is a 2x optical zoom out and a digital zoom up to 5x. On the video side, there is a new offering, cinematic mode, where it can change focus from one object to another, with AI even helping with that. For example, someone you are focused on turns their head to look at something in the background, and it will automatically change the focus to the item in the background that person's looking at. Say hello to the newest, most overused feature for Christmas videos in 2021. 5G was improved to include more bands on carriers, will now be supported on 200 carriers in over 60 countries. And battery life is getting better. For the 13 mini, it will improve 1.5 hours versus the 12 mini, And for the 13, it will improve 2.5 hours versus the 12. Those are both significant jumps in battery life improvements. Storage options are now 128, 256, and 512 gigabytes. Pricing will start at $699 for the Mini and $799 for the 13. Orders will start early this Friday the 17th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, with devices being delivered on Friday the 24th. Tim came back to introduce the Pro Series iPhones, the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. No surprises with any names anywhere in this presentation. He then passed off to Jaws for the actual work. First up, there will be 4 colors: graphite, gold, silver, and Sierra Blue. Sierra Blue looks really nice. I think I'm going to go with Sierra Blue. The screen sizes will be 6.1 inches and 6.7 inches. They are Super Retina XDR displays with ProMotion, with the display dynamically changing between 10 and 120 hertz as needed. The Pro has resolution of 2532 by 1170 pixels at 460 ppi. The Max resolution is 2778 by 1284 pixels at 458 pixels per inch. 1200 nits for the display in HDR, 1000 nits for the display in typical regular mode. Now, I do want to say this. The 120 hertz is a big thing that Apple's touting. It's nice that this is finally here, but it took a really long time. This should have been here last year. Sorry. This 120 hertz refresh, I mean, you can find $400, $500 Android phones with 120 hertz refresh. Just saying. Below display is the A15 Bionic with a 6-core CPU and 5-core GPU and 16-core neural engine. There is a whole new camera system with, again, 3 cameras. Overall, 2.2 times better low-light performance. A 6x optical zoom range, that is 3x optical zoom in and 2x optical zoom out, with digital zoom up to 15x. The macro photography was something Apple emphasized, with a focal point as close as 2 centimeters. Guess some can now do even closer private part pics for this. Joy. For video recording, you can now change the bokeh effect after the fact. HDR video recording up to 60 frames per second. Digital zoom up to 9x for video recording. Here's the key change here. Battery life for the 13 Pro is 1.5 hours better than the 12 Pro and 2.5 hours better for the 13 Pro Max versus the 12 Pro Max, offering now the best battery life of any iPhone ever. So if you now want the iPhone with the best battery life in the current portfolio, it is without a doubt the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Pricing starts at $999 for the Pro and $1099 for the Pro Max. Storage options are 128, not enough gigabytes. 256, it's okay. 512, that seems about right, gigabytes. And a new 1 terabyte because, well, you've got the money to blow version. You can pre-order on Friday the 17th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time with delivery starting on the 24th, if you're lucky enough to get in early. If you have an iPhone 12 Pro Series, the upgrade to the 13 Pro Series is very, very minimal. If you have an iPhone 11 Pro Series, it is a bigger upgrade. And if you have a 10 Series or 10S Max, then it's really a big, nice upgrade. I could not recommend those with a 12 Pro to upgrade. I mean, really, between the 12 and the 13, it's meh. And for those with 11 Pro Series, maybe you should upgrade this year if all is, well, maybe you should wait a year. If all's working well, maybe wait another year. If you're feeling I'm running out of space, the storage, maybe it's a little chipped up, maybe then you look to upgrade this year. If you have an iPhone XS Max, for that group of folks, it's a no-brainer to upgrade. Overall, the iPhones had 38 minutes of presentation time. Tim came back for a quick 2-minute recap. For the entire iPhone line, pricing starts now at $399 for the SE, $499 for the iPhone 11, $599 for the 12, $699 for the 13, $999 for the 13 Pro. It looks like, for now, Apple is keeping both the 11 and 12 lines. All iPhones remain with the Lightning port. Only the iPad mini changed from Lightning to USB-C in this event. The whole presentation was 78 minutes long. The iPhones had 38 of those minutes, that's 49% of the time. iPads had 17 minutes, that's 22% of the time. Apple Watch had 9 minutes, that's 12% of the time. Apple Fitness Plus had 7 minutes, that's 9% of the time. Apple TV had 2 minutes. The intro and wrap-up was 5 minutes. That's how this presentation broke out. We'll see how that compares next year. One thing not mentioned in the presentation or on the Apple site or anything else I can find afterwards is if the iPhone 13 Pro Max will support the Apple Pencil now that it does 120 refresh, which it does not look like it will support the Apple Pencil. It sure would have been nice, though, on the iPhone 13 Pro Max for Apple to give support for the Apple Pencil. Would have been nice. Nice little gesture, something. Because overall, when you look at where we went from the 12 series to the 13 series, and again, 49% of the time was about the iPhones. When you look at where we went to and where we are now, overall, you have to say it was a meh update. No offense, Apple, but there's not something you go, oh, I have to get rid of my iPhone 12 and move to a 13. I didn't see one compelling feature. Matter of fact, iPhone 11 owners are going to be really hard-pressed to convince themselves to upgrade to the iPhone 13. iPhone 10 series, 10s series, absolutely. No-brainer. Move on up. Let me know your thoughts. What were your favorite new features? Did you think it was mad? Did you think it was exciting? Give us a call, 206-MOONDOG. That's 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOONDOG. Or shoot us an email, todayinios@gmail.com. Love to hear your feedback, hear what you think about the Apple event. And are you getting a new iOS device? Are you getting a new iPad, iPhone? Are you getting? What did you order? Let me know the version, the color, the storage, and give us a call and shoot us an email. Let us know all the details. Or if you said this is just meh, I'm going to hold on, let me know that too. Maybe you're holding out for the new Apple Watch. Maybe you like the new Apple Watch. It is nicer with 20% bigger screen. Still don't buy that QWERTY keyboard on that screen. I just don't see how that's going to work. This episode, I want to talk to you about podcast hosting. Did you know the ratio of active blogs to active podcasts is over 2,500 to 1? If you want to stand out from the crowd, podcasting is the best way. There is more time in the day for people to listen to podcasts than for them to read blogs or watch videos. This allows you to get out in front of your audience when they are driving, in the car, walking the dog, working out, or even working. Podcasting will help differentiate you from your fellow coworkers and help if you want to speak at virtual conferences and events and in live conferences and events when those come back in the future. Plus, podcasting is fun. It's something I've been doing now for almost 17 years. I have said it for over 16 years now. The best place to host a podcast, absolutely positively, is Libsyn, Libsyn. If you use promo code podcast411, you will get the rest of the current month free and all of the next month free. Again, podcast411, get the rest of this month free and all of next month free. For anyone that does start a podcast on Libsyn, if you send me a promo of your podcast, I will play it on a future episode of TII. Libsyn, for those that do not know, the podcasting space is the largest podcast host by number of active podcasts and active episodes and total number of downloads all time. Beyond it being where I host TII and work, it is where Dan Carlin, macOS Ken, Dave Ramsey, Joyce Meyer, eBay, Oracle, Google, and even Microsoft host their podcasts. Again, just use promo code podcast411 to get the rest of this month free, or the month you sign up in free, and all of the following month free. How do I look?
Perfect, as always.
How do I look?
Nice. I think you're ready to roll.
And before we go today, I want to remind you to send in your feedback to the show, 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOONDOG. Or record your feedback and email to the show at todayinios@gmail.com. The feedback can be a question or comment about something someone said on this episode, which in today's episode would be me. Or it can be a question or rant you have about something else, an app, a product review, good or bad, as long as it is iOS related, it is welcomed. I'm always looking for new artwork to feature that you created on iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we are always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. This is your show and your feedback is greatly desired. Also, don't forget to check out our moderated MeWe community by going to todayinios.com/community. When you go there, you need to request to be added. I have two questions. First one seems to quickly weed out the Android fanboys. I ask, which is the better OS, iOS or Android? And, well, the Android fanboys can't bring themselves to say iOS. They say either both or Android. And instantly, they are rejected. So, yeah, it is a nice, safe Android fanboy-free zone. And you can ask questions or post articles about pretty much anything Apple-related. Quick reminder, if you are an app dev or an iBook author, email me if you want your iBook or app featured on the promo giveaway segment for free. Just need 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me, at todayinios@gmail.com. And please include a 60-second or less audio review of your app or iBook, indicating you are the dev or the author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire. And finally, check out the Tii app, which is free to you. Search for TII in the iOS App Store. It is the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of Today in iOS is released. Again, TII is what you need to search for. Until the next time, I'm your host, Rob, reminding you to phone different. The show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Libsyn Media Network. If you are looking for podcast hosting, go to Libsyn.com. That is Libsyn.com for hosting for your podcast and creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can be found everywhere you listen to podcasts. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Overcast, Stitcher, and everywhere else you listen to audio.